Had been months since I left. No goodbye. No note. Not even a final glance at her. The woman I loved, the woman I had vowed to spend my life with, had shattered me in ways I still struggled to comprehend. The day I discovered the affair, I walked out and never looked back. I vanished from her world, refusing to let the pain consume me. But now, standing before me was the last person I ever expected to see again. She had searched for me, found me. I hadn't prepared for this moment. Hadn't even considered the possibility. I didn't want to see her. Not now. Not ever. Yet there she was, pleading for forgiveness. But why? Was it love? Or was it simply regret? The truth of her betrayal hadn't been revealed in some dramatic, cinematic way. There was no walking in on her in bed with someone else. No explosive confrontation. It was the little things, the quiet signals I ignored for too long. The coldness in her voice. The late nights at the office. The way she always kept her phone on silent, screen turned downward. And then one night everything became painfully clear. I had come home after an exhausting day, mind preoccupied, body worn out. And that's when I saw it. Message. The words hit me like a fist to the gut. I didn't need to read it twice to understand. The meaning was undeniable, its weight pressing down on my chest until I could barely breathe. In that moment, everything I thought I knew about my marriage, about her, about us, collapsed. I didn't confront her, didn't yell, didn't demand an explanation. I just walked out. Because when someone betrays you like that, it's not about understanding. It's about accepting the truth. They made their choice. They chose something or someone over you. And I couldn't stay. The days that followed blurred together. I shut out the world, avoiding friends, ignoring family. They urged me to get out, to breathe, to live. But I couldn't. Felt hollow. Suffocated by the weight of what had been done to me. I moved into a small apartment, far from the life I had abandoned. Away from the memories, away from her. I tried to rebuild, to salvage the pieces of myself that remained. I kept my head down, drowned myself in work, and avoided anything that reminded me of her. But the nights were the worst. The silence was suffocating, a stark reflection of the emptiness she had left behind. And in the quiet, the thoughts crept in. Did she feel the same pain I did? Did she miss me? But each time those questions surfaced, I forced myself to remember. She had made her decision. She had crossed a line there was no returning from. Then, 6 months later, my phone lit up with a message. Name. For a moment I just stared at the screen, frozen. A flood of emotions hit me at once. Anger, confusion, disbelief. What did she want? After all this time, after I had left without a word, why now? Was it guilt? Or was it simply regret? I debated ignoring it, deleting the message, erasing the last trace of her from my life. But a part of me, the part one despised, needed to know. So I responded. I told her to meet me at the cafe we used to visit. One of the few places that wouldn't drown me in memories of her. I arrived early, settling into a corner seat, trying to steady my thoughts. But my mind raced. And then she walked in. It took everything in me not to leave. She looked the same. And yet different. Her hair was shorter, and exhaustion clung to her features. The weight of time had pressed itself upon her in ways that hadn't touched me. When her eyes met mine, they shimmered, not with joy but with something deeper. Guilt. Remorse. She sat across from me, hands folded tightly, voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you for meeting me." I said nothing. For months, I had imagined this moment, rehearsed every word I would say if I ever saw her again. And yet, now that she was here, I found myself silent. The pain was still raw, still sharp. Her voice trembled as she spoke again. "I've missed you. I know what I did was wrong, and I regret everything." I wanted to believe her. Wanted to believe that the woman sitting across from me, so vulnerable, so broken, was still the same woman I had once loved. But she wasn't. And she never would be again. "I never meant for it to happen," she said, her eyes glassy with unshed tears. "I thought I could keep both of you in my life. But when you left, I realized how much you meant to me. I swallowed hard, my pulse pounding in my ears. This wasn't the apology I had envisioned. And it wasn't enough. Words couldn't fix what had been broken. I needed more than regret. I needed the truth. "What is this?" I asked, my voice steady, cold. "Do you want me back? Or are you just afraid of losing your safety net?" Her face fell, the mask slipping. "It's not like that," she rushed to say. "I really miss you. Miss us. I think about you every day." She hesitated. I don't know how to fix what I broke." But the truth was written in her eyes, in the spaces between her words. She didn't miss me. She missed the way I made her feel. She missed the security, the comfort. She wasn't here because she couldn't live without me. She was here because the life she had chosen hadn't worked out the way she had hoped. I exhaled slowly, the realization settling over me with absolute clarity. I couldn't go back. Not now. Not ever. "I think you should go," I said quietly. She didn't argue, didn't beg. She just nodded, her face a portrait of disappointment and regret. And then she left. I watched her go, the weight of the moment pressing down on me. But as I stepped out of the cafe, a strange sense of peace washed over me. Forgiving her didn't mean going back. It didn't mean pretending that everything was okay. It meant accepting reality. Because the truth was simple. If she had truly loved me, she never would have risked losing me in the first place. So if you're waiting for someone to realize what they lost, don't. And if they ever come back, remember this. They don't miss you. They miss the way you made them feel. And that's not love. That's regret.